Hello, Patricia Brothers. Thank you for attending this interview for the management position at Oceana Hospital. Can we please get started with question number one?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me about yourself and why you feel you are qualified for this management position?
I have worked in the healthcare field for 5 years. I started working as an LPN in the year of 2009 at Kindred Healthcare of Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Kindred Healthcare is a long term care facility and it rehabs people to their max potential. Then, in the year of 2011, I received my associate's degree in nursing at a local college named College of the Albemarle. This is also located in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. After receiving my associate's degree in nursing, this allowed me to work as an RN. Shortly after I became an RN, I worked as a director of nursing. I worked in this position for approximately 2 years. This was a very stressful and demanding position, but I enjoyed every moment of it. Currently, I am pursuing my Bachelor of Science degree in nursing at the University of North Carolina, Wilmington. After I receive my Bachelor of Science degree in nursing, I will then continue my education to become a family nurse practitioner. That is my dream and my long term goal, and I cannot wait. I believe that nursing is one of the most interesting and growing careers today, and I enjoy the difference I make in patients' lives. My aunt is a nurse, and seeing the satisfaction she feels every day helped me to be job inspired to be a nurse as well. I want to do something in my career that is challenging, interesting, and makes a difference in people's lives. This is why I apply for this management position. I have strong organizational skills, leadership ability, and clinical knowledge. I am able to coordinate patient treatment by assigning appropriate tasks to nurses within the med-surg department. Also, I am capable of ensuring that the med-surg department remains within the organization's budget. I will also ensure that all patients receive the highest quality of care. I will stay current with the policy changes within your organization, and I will make sure that the staff is in compliance.
Okay. So, what is your style of leadership? And what style do you prefer your supervisors to display? And why?
Well, I have a democratic style of leadership. Democratic style of leadership is also known as participative leadership. There are also other forms of leadership. These forms are known as autocratic and laissez-faire. Autocratic leadership is definitely something that's not my favorite. With this style of leadership, the leader makes all the decisions, and the subordinates have no decision making abilities. With the laissez faire leadership, the group members make all the decisions, and the leader has no clue what's really going on. By having a democratic leadership, you allow your other team members to participate in the decision making skills and abilities for the company. With a democratic leadership style, the supervisor consults with the subordinates on appropriate matter and giving them influence in the decision making process. This is the most favorable style of leadership, and I even prefer my supervisors to display this style of leadership too. Healthcare is always changing. You see the change with the insurance see change with insurance covering certain diagnoses, changing of acute illnesses. Patients are more acute than they were years ago. You have also people living longer. Healthcare is just dynamic. So, democratic leadership offers flexibility to adapt to different or better ways of doing things. Also, a democratic leadership style can bring the best out of experience and a professional team. It capitalizes on the team members' skills and talents by letting them share their views rather than just simply conform. With a democratic leadership style, communication is kept open, the ideas of the team members are respected, and the creativity of the environment is fostered. The team members are also treated fair and they're treated with dignity.
All right. Can you describe the core values that are most important to you and why?
Yes, I can. The core values that are most important to me is honesty and happiness. A person acting with honesty are more likely to project a sense of stability for employees. This is also important for employee retention. Honesty encourages professional growth and creates an environment that promotes high performance and productivity. Employees will respect their supervisor for their honesty. Happiness is also another core value that is important to me. When a person is happy, there's less chance for development of health issues. When a person isn't happy, they're usually stressed, mad, or sad. This is not good for this person's body. It's not good for the facility as far as emotion wise. You want your workers to be happy where they work, and your workers admire their leader. If the leader is not displaying happiness, then what are your workers doing? You have to allow your followers to emulate the leaders. And I think happiness is always something that we should display no matter what's going on in a facility. So when a manager is displaying happiness in the workplace, the employees tend to follow. Happiness increases positivity in the workplace. Without either core value, the culture within the organization is at risk for poor organizational development. And we do not want that in our facility.
Okay. Well, could you give me an example of a model of care that you believe is effective in delivering high quality, fiscally responsible care?
Yes. Well, let's just say I'm always a team player. So, a model of care that I believe is effective in delivering high quality, fiscally responsible care is the modern team concept model. The team concept model of an organization represents a fundamental change is the way the work is structured and organized. The benefits of a team within an organization, it includes increased productivity, improved quality of service or products, reduce costs to the organization, and reduce turnover and increase motivation. Those are all positive aspects of the team model approach. Teamwork is very important. It's very important part of the working culture. Members of a team are committed to work on goals that they help create. In the modern team concept model, everyone contributes their unique abilities, which makes the result of their objective more diverse. It's always great to be a team. You can never do it by yourself, especially in the healthcare field of nursing. Team approach is always the best approach to me.
Okay. Could you list 3 skills that you feel are most important for managers to use when leading an interdisciplinary team? And to what extent do you possess these skills?
Three management skills that I feel are most important for managers when leading an interdisciplinary team are planning, organizing, and directing. Planning is the most essential activity of management. Planning provides the overall structure to accomplish necessary work. It also focuses on the attention on objectives, offset uncertainties, and gain economical operation and financial control. When I worked as a director of nursing, I developed safety guidelines by implementing training and education for staff to prevent workplace injuries. This was part of my planning to prevent these actions. And we did this monthly. We would have a monthly meeting on safety. We would look at the trends of any safety risk factors or issues. We would discuss these issues as a group. If there was any employees that had work-related injuries, we would allow the employees to come to our meetings, discuss their injury, discuss what they could have done better during that time, and discuss any recommendations to prevent further injuries to other employees. I feel that this entire process was very helpful in our organization and drastically reduced workplace injuries within our organization. Organizing is a management function that relates people and activities to fulfill organizational objectives. Directing gets the work done through others. Directing involves giving directions, supervising, leading, motivating, and communicating. I highly possess these skills.
Okay. What management skills are you lacking? And if any, what is your plans for developing these skills?
One management skill I need to improve on is micromanaging. Micromanaging consists of constantly checking on employees to see if a task is complete. You may ask them a million questions a day to see if they know what they're supposed to be doing. This type of action displays a lack of trust in your employees. To improve this action, I can work with employees one-on-one to see their strengths and weaknesses. I will praise employees for their strengths and provide education in areas where he or she is weak. With this information related to their strengths or weaknesses, I'm able to delegate appropriate tasks to the appropriate personnel. I believe my micromanagement came about as I transitioned from an RN working on the floor in a long-term care facility to a director of nursing, leading a group of nurses. That wasn't an easy transition, but I overcame that obstacle. And the micromanaging came from me being independent worker to allowing people to be more dependent on me. But like I said, I overcame that obstacle. Everything was great, and I've learned a lot. You can't micromanage your employees. It's okay to check up on things and supervise, but you don't want them to feel that they're not trustworthy. You have to give them a chance. You have to get to know your employees. You get to know what they can do and what they cannot do. And then it's up to the leader to delegate what activities is appropriate. Like, you can't sit there and say a nurse is going to be a treatment nurse and they have no backgrounds on wounds or anything like that. It's just not good. You just delegate the appropriate activities to the appropriate personnel. This will eliminate the micromanaging if I just delegate the appropriate tasks to the appropriate personnel. Another management skill that I lack is providing prompt feedback to employees. Now, I know you can relate to days where there's just nothing to do but work, work, work. You know, you have angry family members, you have angry patients, you have doctor phone calls, family meetings. It's just so much to do. Sometimes you just can't provide that proper feedback to an employee because you're always busy. But that proper feedback to an employee is very important, and that's something I definitely need to work on. If I notice somebody who is out of character where they should not be at the job, it needs to be corrected. And like I said, and sometimes we just always so busy we can't catch those mistakes, or we overlook those mistakes that an employee may make that have an impact on the organization. For an example, we have a business office manager that does a great job with managing residents' financial accounts, but she's very inappropriate when we have telephone calls. She answers the phone very unprofessional. This manager has not been alerted to the problem and continuously put off potential customers. This is not good. Not only are you not providing excellent customer service, you're losing business. So this issue, it must be addressed, and it must be addressed immediately. When you don't provide prompt feedback, you are depriving the employee of opportunity to improve their performance. To correct this issue, my plan is to recognize the problem, provide either education or initiate disciplinary action if needed, and follow up with the results. This is something definitely you do not want to do with your company. Is not to provide the adequate feedback that an employee must need to improve as a team in your organization. Because when there's one bad apple, everybody's bad. And we don't want that in our company.
Right? In what ways are planning and budgeting related? And what factors will you consider when planning the budget?
Well, planning and budgeting are definitely related. Budgeting and planning, they lay the foundation for continuous improvement of an organizational fiscal health. It is critical. It is a critical component of transforming the finances with an organization by making the best use of vital data to create strategies to make informed decisions. The factors to consider when planning a budget are specific goal and financial projections. Goals and projections contain operating plan and capital plans. Operating plans are the items that affect day-to-day activities. An example of an operating plan is maybe when we look at our hours that the nurses work. Are they working over the certain amount of hours that they need for that day? Are there too many nurses? Are there too many CNAs? Is there not enough nurses? So just looking at the daily labor. And then you have capital plans, which are items that affect major or unusual expenditures. When I think about capital plans, I think about the maintenance man. The maintenance man fixing the holes in the wall or the air conditioners. You know, they have to get these things right for our organization and our residents. So they may write off an expense to get the certain items in the organization to fix them. That's when I think about unusual expenditures. Also, accounting skills, knowledge of range and financial plans, and budget types must be considered. Accounting methods provide an accurate record of expenditures and drive the budgeting process. Long-range financial plans focuses on the budget. budget types are offered.
Okay? Let's assume for a moment that you are hired into this position and that the budgeting process has already been completed by the previous manager. You notice that the budget does not include enough money to cover staffing expenses for 3 months of the fiscal year. What steps would you take?
Well, these are the steps that I will take. I will first create a new budget. I will look at all the expenses of the different departments. I will look at our supplies and organizations. I will even look at the labor costs, the labor for our nursing staff or for our staff. The goal is not to overspend in looking at these expenses or not to spend it all if we don't need these items. So you have to prioritize the items that you need within your organization and let some of the other expenses go. So like I said, I will look at all the departments' expenses. I'll probably do a meeting. Let's see how what we need and what we do not need, what can wait and what cannot wait. And then put this money that we accumulate in the pile for the expenses for the staff. Then I will also review the budgets. I'll probably do it on a weekly basis starting out to make sure that everybody is within their budget and not spending. There may have to be some cuts in the budgets as well to get the staff paid. We got to have paid staff, because if we don't have paid staff, we're going to have angry staff. And angry staff equals to no staff. So those are the steps that I will take for that particular portion. If that doesn't work, I will also look forward to talking to my supervisor about the issue to see what other directions we can take. But overall, like I said, I would do a budget plan of what we have now, what we can cut in each department, what we actually need and what we actually do not need. What we do not need will automatically go for the expenses for the staff, and what we can cut will go to the expenses for the staff. So I think that's a good way of handling that issue.
Okay. So, how would you describe your level of emotional intelligence? And could you give me 2 examples of how your emotional intelligence how positively impacted a group or team?
Yes. I believe I have a high level of emotional intelligence. I am able to recognize my emotions and how it affects my thoughts and behaviors. Also, I am capable of controlling impulsive feelings or behaviors and adapting to changing circumstances. I'm very understanding when it comes to people concerns and emotions. One example of emotional intelligence that I can give you is when my facility had a state survey. The result of the state survey was one tag. It wasn't a high level tag, but the staff was pretty beat up about the one tag because they wanted to be deficiency free. And I don't blame them, but at the end, I still think we did very well as a team. And just getting that one tag was very accomplishing. Well, like I said, I saw a lot of the staff members down, kind of upset about the situation. So what I decided to do, being a leader, I decided to call a staff meeting. I allowed my staff to discuss their concerns about the survey results. I allowed them to kind of vent. I also, once that was done, we talked about what we can do better. And I basically gave them a motivational speech, inspiring words for them to keep on doing what they're doing. Because what they did was very excellent. They didn't see the benefit, but I did. And just giving them the encouragement and inspiring words, I think that helped dramatically with their attitude, with their work performance, and with their overall, thoughts about the situation. So that's one example that I can give you. Another example I can give you of emotional intelligence is one day I had a doctor who came to our facility. He seemed like he was just in a bad mood. He was very rude to the staff. Then one day I approached him. I said, "Is there anything I can help you with, Dr. Such and Such?" He was very rude in responding. Now, sometimes, if you're not aware of your feelings, you may respond very rudely back. But you can't be like that. You have to understand that this doctor may be having a bad day. And you have to understand, is there some way you can rectify the situation? You have to keep calm. You have to be professional. And by being professional and calm in certain situations like that, that's displaying a very high emotional intelligence. Not everybody can handle the stress of somebody yelling at you or telling you what you're doing wrong when you're trying to do nothing but right. So, like I said, I kept my composure. I asked, is there anything I could do to rectify the situation? And we just monitored. And this situation, if it's sometimes it's just a one-time thing, but just for further advice, if this was repeated, I'm telling the supervisor. It's ways to handle situations instead of just yelling, instead of just fussing back and forth, feeling down. Can't let nobody steal your joy. And by having a high emotional intelligence, he didn't steal my joy. I was able to perform my work just like I did before he came in. Even though he was rude, unapproachable, I still remained open and approachable. You just have to put your feelings to the side. And I think that's very, very important with your emotional intelligence.
Okay, before we bring this interview to a close, is there anything else you feel would be important for me to know about your qualifications to lead and manage the med-surg units?
Yes, I want you to know that I am a highly motivated registered nurse. I have excellent service and communication skills. This is demonstrated by courtesy, tact, respectfully interacting with patients, families, and staff. I have developed and monitored budgets and resource allocation while identifying strategies to reduce costs among organizations. Also, by being a manager, it takes a special person to be in a management position. And I think I am this special person. I think I will greatly provide benefits for your company. I'm smart, I'm reliable, very dependable. You can depend on me for anything. I will be there. I show a lot of commitment to my companies because I know y'all believe in me. Also, I'm very flexible. I think being a flexible manager means the world. I always have an open door policy. Anybody, any staff member can come talk to me about anything. I'm also able to solve problems promptly. This will prevent any other issues from forming in the future. I think I'll be a great asset to your company. I think I'll be a great manager on the med-surg unit. Like I said, I'm very open. Communication skills are excellent. And I'm a very happy people person. The patients will enjoy me. The staff will enjoy me. And also, this has been a great experience. Just being here for this interview has been great for me. Just having a chance to sit with you today for this position is an achievement. I would like to thank you for your time and your consideration, and I hope you consider me for this med-surg position. This is a managed position that I look forward to hearing from you from. This has been a great experience, and I would like to thank you once again.
Okay, Ms. Brothers, thank you for coming to the interview for the med-surg management position. I said I'm going to go over a couple of things, consider some stuff, and hopefully we'll get back to you for the job. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me interview for this med surge management position.